And Labor Secretary Scalia echoed the concerns of O'Brien in a letter to the Federal Retirement Thrift Investment Board Chair Michael Kennedy. He demanded the board immediately halt investment in those Chinese equities. President Trump wants an answer by the end of business day tomorrow. Here to take all of this up is the Labor Secretary, Eugene Scalia. Mr. Secretary, good to have you with us. Why have we waited so long to address this issue? We've been reporting on it for months here on this broadcast. Why in the world would it have gone forward?
Well, Lou, good to be with you. And yes, this concerns what we call the Thrift Savings Plan. It's the 401k plan for federal employees, and it's the largest 401k in the world. Actually includes about 1.3 million veterans. And as Robert O'Brien indicated, the question was whether we were going to put our military men and women and other federal workers in a position where if they wanted to invest in international markets, they were going to have to invest in Chinese companies that manufacture aircraft, the like, that present a national security threat. But the other thing that was emphasized in the letter I received was the lack of integrity to the financial statements of Chinese companies. SEC Chair Jay Clayton has been very concerned that he can't give visibility into that either. And so Larry Kudlow joined O'Brien in that letter talking about the financial risk to these retirees as well. I think these risks have become even more apparent since the outbreak in January and the great impact it's having on the country here. That's part of what they emphasized in the letter to me.
Right. And the president, this apparently is his initiative. He is hereby putting China on notice, is he not? That he's not going to put up with this nonsense of taking a piece of public employees' retirement money and investing it in firms who may well be working to support an enemy of the United States down the road. But those have also been true throughout. We know that we have the most secure markets in the world in this country. Our public accounting board can't get any cooperation at all from the Chinese, and haven't for decades. The reality is to put that money in the hands of China is an absurdity, and it has been from the beginning. Whose idea was it?
Well, it was, as you indicated, a directive by the president, actually, which I communicated. I sent along the letter that I got from the National Security Advisor, the economic advisor to the president, to the board that oversees the TSP, with communicating the president's directive that this not go forward, that we not basically have our retirees, including military veterans, funding the Chinese military-industrial complex. And so it's something that should not go forward. And I think it's part of a broader reassessment right now of the economic ties and dependencies that we have as we see how they're affecting us as we deal with this coronavirus right now. It's part of a broader discussion.
A broader discussion, but a very specific rollback at the president's initiative. It is arguably one of at least the first two responses, if you will, punishments for China for the Wuhan virus that they originated and which, in fact, they did not warn the world about. Is that a correct statement in your view?
Well, that's part of the concern here, obviously. The president has been very disturbed from the start at China's handling of it. Of course, he moved quickly to end travel from China. And Robert O'Brien, the National Security Advisor, Larry Kudlow, do, as you noted, indicate that sanctions may be forthcoming because of how this was handled. And but again, to put it in the broader context, this president from the start has been focused on strengthening American manufacturing, strengthening American jobs. And what's happened with the virus has, I think, confirmed concerns he's had about the degree of our economic dependency on China. And you look at USMCA, for example, the trade agreement, which was finalized just a few months ago, was a path-breaking agreement. And part of what was so important to the president there, protecting American jobs, American workers, and American manufacturing. And this action that he's directed yesterday also is a piece of that in the sense that it recognizes the threats that do exist from our making this kind of an investment.
Mr. Secretary, it's good of you to share your time. We appreciate it. Look forward to talking with you again soon. Thanks so much.
Pleasure being with you.
Secretary Eugene Scalia.